and welcome to the Seagulls Social. I'm Jack, and oh no, right. Start that again. I'm Jack. I don't know why I said my name like.
We're keeping that in.
Yeah, we're keeping that in.
Let's run it.
Right, do it again. Do it again.
In Ciso. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your seats.
Hi, and welcome to the Seagulls Social. I'm Jack, and we got our Arsenal preview today. We're joined by Ben and Maz. How you doing?
We're good, thanks, Jack.
Yeah,
I'm the host.
Yeah, I'm hosting for the first time. This could be an absolute car crash or not, but I'm looking forward to the game at the weekend. So look, Ben, you just host from now on. I don't even know the talking points. You don't even read the document. You just go ahead and host the rest.
There is no document. We don't do that anymore. We don't have time for that anymore.
Oh yeah, we don't.
I think the match probably speaks for itself, to be honest. Arsenal fighting for the title, and we are fighting for our lives, it seems, because it's not been the greatest time to be a Brighton Albion fan at the moment, to be honest. A complete contrast to being an Arsenal fan, because they can't stop winning and we struggle to score and win. So it's not going to be the easiest game. I think they were probably the hardest opposition we did play when we faced them at the Emirates early in the season. We were blown away by them. I can't believe it was only 2-0 when we lost to them. And yeah, I think then when we played them at the Amex last year as well, that was a New Year's Eve one, wasn't it? Or Christmas Eve. Oh no, it was New Year's Eve. And yeah, I think they won that as well. But they definitely did win that, and probably quite convincingly. So we haven't had two, apart from the away trip when obviously Undav done the chip. We haven't had too many good results against Arsenal. I know when we first joined the Premier League, we seemed to get a few wins and draws here and there, but I don't know about you, Maz. I'm definitely not feeling confident about this one.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? With Japan, I know we haven't done our Brentford review yet, but after the Brentford game, the only positive, one of the positives for me was João Pedro. I thought I saw online he was getting a bit of like mixed reviews, and I thought it was a bit unfair. I thought he looked really lively. He looked different. He looked something what I think we've been missing, especially up top. Just that energy that he brought, I thought was brilliant. So, do you know what? With him back in the team, I feel like we can cause Arsenal problems, especially at home as well. But look, let's be frank. They are in a title run. They are going to go there and just try and blow us away. And they might go and do that. I think the midfield battle is going to be really key. I think for me, obviously Balaba's looked good, but is he still the finished article? Probably not. So yeah. It's just I'm not confident, but I'm not despondent. I haven't just given it up. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, that was the most cheery intro we've ever had to a match preview, is it? No, I think people have been a bit reactionary in the response to the Brentford game. I think we're still a good team. I think the injuries have just screwed us this season. It does feel like our season's fizzling out a little bit, but you want to remain positive for the rest of it. We've still got a chance of getting into Europe. With Man United's loss last night, we're still only 5 points off fifth, or sixth even. So we're doing quite well. I think it's with Pedro back, it's really good. He really was the difference he was really bringing the ball forward, and we were starting to look good with him. Yeah, it's a funny one. Arsenal, like you say, are by far and away the best team. They should have won that game about 9-0 in December. Like, they were really, really good. Dunk had a masterclass in how to defend that day. Same with Van Heck. So what I'd want us to do is try and frustrate it a bit. Just play our usual game. They're going to want to go out, but they're susceptible to bottling it a little bit. That's I don't mean that, but they are. They are susceptible to bottling it. It's such an aggressive way of saying it. They are susceptible to the odd slip up. So who knows? And that is probably what the next step for Arsenal is to win a title, is to not have these slip-ups. This team, I don't personally think this team is as good as last year's team. I actually thought last year's team was more impressive, in my opinion. But they are really, really good at getting results. They're very good at grinding out 1-0s, 2-1, stuff like that, which is a good aspect to have. So it'll be an interesting game tomorrow. I don't really know what to think of it. Half of me thinking, oh yeah, we're just going to lose 4-0. The other half's like, oh, we can nick a 1-0. So
I know what you mean.
Interesting to see, yeah.
It's their defence has been probably the most impressive this season for sure. It's not just last year it was Saliba. Everyone was saying he was the best centre back, but Gabriel was probably one of maybe on par with him this season. He's been incredible. So with a team like Brighton that have been struggling to score, I don't know if we even will get a shot, like if get a shot at goal or even get a goal against Arsenal. It might be that difficult. That's how negative I'm thinking. But it's interesting you said about the league table though, Jack. Like, I didn't realise we were still that closer sixth and that. So there is still hope that we can get some sort of European football, because before the Brentford game I still had hope. So one game shouldn't change that. There's still eight. Well, we think we've probably got 9 games to go, haven't we? Anything can happen.
I think some people are looking at it like, one of those Welbeck chants goes in and we're 3 points better off and we're looking in a much, much stronger position. Yeah. I think it's just unfortunate one of them didn't go in. And then we the whole mindset of that game suddenly changed. It's like, oh yeah, great win for us. We really ground out a win there. So I don't think it's time to be too despondent. I think always with this running that we have, it's going to be difficult to get European football. Like to have to play Liverpool, City, Arsenal, United, Newcastle, Villa.
Yeah.
Like it's a very difficult running. I think statistically we have the hardest running. So it was always going to be like this. Although to be honest, this is how I saw the season going. This is I know that like from the beginning of the season, I just saw it as sort of, you've got to do a lot. You look at the teams who have got Europe twice, like sort of, or who have got Europe from a lower position. Like you look at Stoke, you look at Wolves, you look at Leicester. It's quite hard to do that 2 years in a row because you need to have that consistency across the whole season. And other than maybe Wolves when they had a lot of investment in them, not many teams have managed to do the Europe 2 seasons in a row. So I think to still be in a shout is much better than like the likes of Swansea and Burnley did, who almost went down that season.
West Ham did it last season.
I mean, essentially West Ham got Europe again because they won the Conference League. They were poor last season. They only finished 14th. And Villa are obviously doing fantastic, but they've got a lot of investment. They've got a much larger budget, much bigger club as well. I don't think it's unfair to say they are a much bigger club. So they're obviously going to be able to fight for it 2 years in a row. I think that's our problem. I think it's either hard arse to do it, but it's great that we're giving it a good go.
Yeah, I think with Arsenal as well, they will come to Brighton expecting a win. So I suppose maybe that could go in our favour because the expectation is so heavily on them. We could just go into that thinking, look, we've got nothing to lose. Let's just play our usual game, and you never know what can happen. So I think that's one thing that does work in our favour. The onus is completely, and even Jack, you mentioned our run, obviously a ridiculously hard run now. I think all of those games you can go into that thinking, do you know what? Are we really expected to win this game? Probably not on the balance of things. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully it might just be maybe De Zerbi saying to them, look lads, like we've got 8 games to go. Let's just relax. Let's just, what happens. We don't get Europe. Obviously, I think it's not detrimental. I think it's a bit of a big word, but I think it will be tough for us to compete potentially next season if we don't have European football, just because of the way, if we want to progress, we obviously want to be more attractive, and being more attractive is by having European football. So, yeah, I'm not saying it's detrimental, but it might be an onus on the players. You're like, look, do you know what? We've got nothing to lose. These next 8 games, do you know what? Let's just go out there, play our usual, like how we can play. But it's then, it comes down to injuries, players missing, but hopefully João Pedro back now. Does that give us a different edge? I'm really interested to see how he does against Arsenal, because I think he'll just give us that different angle. And hopefully Welbeck starts, because I think he's been brilliant recently.
Yeah, one of our best players recently.
Yeah, so imagine that, João Pedro, Welbeck up top, sort of like in that forward areas. And then, man, I don't know. I'm not like going into this game proper negative, but I'm not going into it confident.
I think it's interesting that Pedro played 90 on Tuesday.
I thought that as well.
Or Wednesday. So I don't know whether we'll see him start this week. To just come back from injury and do 2 90s in a week will be surprising, especially with De Zerbi roulette. I can see somebody being, rotated in and out. I think Ferguson's still out injured, I believe. Taking a knock. Not sure on that one. And yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if players like Purvis comes back in. Although I thought Eagle was brilliant, but once again, it seems to be managing minutes at the moment. So, but I think you're right. We might as well just relax and go for it.
Interesting one. I'd be surprised if he doesn't play, because he's missed the last 2 games. You think surely he's going to get back up to fitness. Fatty. He's on the bench again. He was on the bench against Brentford. He was on the bench against Liverpool away. Didn't come on.
I don't think Fate was on the bench against Brentford.
Was he not against Brentford?
I'm pretty sure he wasn't. I could be
Maybe
wrong.
He wasn't on the bench. He wasn't on the bench. No, he was.
Well, I was
left
going to say,
out.
but why was he on the bench against Liverpool? Didn't come on, and then obviously-
I
and
think
then something didn't happen. Something might have happened in the week between then and Brentford for him to then not be on the bench
came out
completely.
saying he had fitness issues, which is the reason why he didn't come on for Liverpool. Oh no, sorry, the reason why he wasn't in the Brentford squad. He said it was because of fitness issues, and he's getting up to speed apparently.
Why would he be on the bench against Liverpool though? That's just so strange.
Yeah, it's something's gone on with Ansu. I don't know what it is, but it definitely is starting to get a bit interesting. I don't know. Obviously, this is pure speculation, of course, but it does seem like something has changed with how the manager views or the club views Ansu. There's a lot of reports coming out this week that we're not going to keep him on for another season, which I don't necessarily think is
Not
bad
surprising.
He hasn't really. I think it's a shame though with Ansu. Like he was good just before he got injured the first time, which is a real shame. He looked like he was just getting good, but he just hasn't returned to that level of form since.
The way it's looking, I can see him going on not even loan, probably on a perm to Saudi if Barca are trying to offload him.
I mean, they're not going to find anyone to take on those wages of like 290 grand a week.
How much are we paying him? Well, we are paying him.
I think
100 something.
160. I've seen reported.
I think that's mental.
That's way beyond what any of our other highest earners earn. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm not sure that has necessarily worked out as well as I thought it is. I think.
Have you got any hope that he can come back and do a job and maybe help save our season?
It'd be nice to see him come back in because we know how good he can be. I just don't think he's quite up to speed with the Premier League. He doesn't look like he's not the sort of winger which De Zerbi. I don't think under De Zerbi's system he's really a winger who plays under De Zerbi's system. I know it sounds a bit strange. He's more of a mid sort of central attacking midfielder. He's played up front a few times. That seems to be where he prefers to play. De Zerbi prefers to play him. I just think it's a shame really because I think Adingra is another interesting one where like. I don't think he's been that good recently, but I think he's just genuinely burnt out. Like, his first season in the Premier League, he has been forced, due to injury, to pretty much play every single game he's been available for, without anybody else being available. So,
and he got massively overhyped during and after AFCON. I think that really didn't help.
Of course.
I don't think he's... I said it after AFCON, I think when we done like a special on him, I said that he's been massively overhyped and I really hope it doesn't affect him because people were going to expect the level that I haven't really seen him produce too often in a Brighton shirt. He's not like the person to carry the team consistently.
Yeah, I think he's good.
I think he's decent against Liverpool, I thought he had a very good game, but then I think towards the end he did peter out because I think like Jack said, I think he's burning out. I think like playing full 90s week in week out and you've got to remember as well he's an explosive player. Without sounding cliche, he is that kind of like player that does have those really short bursts of speed and he probably relies a lot on his physicality in terms of his physical attributes. So I think that will take a big toll on a player like Adingra because he does rely on his speed, I suppose, a lot of the times to take players on. So if you're not physically up there, then I think that's one of your main attributes sort of dwindle, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting because obviously they've got two decent fullbacks, so it'll be interesting to see how he takes them on Arsenal. Because
Kiwi
their fullback.
Kiwi was the left back, even though he's a centre back.
And Ben White.
Well, they play similar to City. They play with two centre backs and fullback, but obviously Ben White is probably a bit more accustomed to playing fullback. So it will be interesting. Those battles will be interesting.
Yeah, I think we'll have to try a different approach. I don't know. It's interesting to see for the last of the season. It's quite hard to predict how these games are going to go, really, because I think it's like the Liverpool game. You can't really go into it expecting too much.
Yeah.
And I think in recent years we've definitely had some really good results against Arsenal and Liverpool, and we've done really well against the top six, and especially last season we did really well against the top six at times.
Yeah.
And I think it's the problem is we're now getting an expectation that we're actually going to get a result against these teams every single time, when in reality the odds are completely against you a lot of the time. And last season, I think we don't realise how amazing we were last season. I think that also is a big...
And the players we had, Jack, like McAllister, for example, we saw yesterday, like, what an incredible goal that was. And, like, missing players like McAllister, I don't want to say Caicedo, but at the same time...
He was good for us, though.
He was
so good.
Exactly.
I mean, God knows what's happened to him at Chelsea. Like, it's baffling. Like, they've actually gone on to win the game as soon as he's come off. Right, he basically almost single-handedly lost it for them.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's like Calvin Phillips at West Ham.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
wrong.
like, McAllister's level has just gone through the roof. But I think it's just the environment that you get to. I mean, everybody knows that Caicedo made a mistake by going to Chelsea, and it's quite obvious to see that now. He'd be doing.
He'd probably be one of Arsenal's best players if he had gone to
Arsenal or Liverpool or something like that. So it's a strange one, but I think we need to sort of damper expectations considering how good we were last year, because we were magnificent last year, and arguably we probably could have even been top 6 worthy if it was a couple of results moved either way. It's a shame, but I think. Yeah, we need to dampen the expectations a bit and just sort of enjoy the rest of the season. We're safe now as well. So for me, if we're not getting Europe, and I know it sounds a bit defeatist, but if we're not getting Europe, I just want to see us play well for the rest of the season. And I'm not really too bothered where we finish. I think we're definitely out of like that little relegation scrap at the bottom. But then
I believe you're mentioning the relegation.
No, of course, but no. I mean, we're clear of that. We won't be involved in that at all.
Yeah.
But I think in that sort of, there's such fine margins between about 12th probably and 7th, and you've just got to get into that area and see where you finish amongst that pack. It's almost like 3 mini leagues. There's the top 4 and the title, the little bit for Europa, and then down to the sort of mid-table bit and then the bottom bit. So it's interesting. Right.
Let's quickly bring it back to Arsenal. I just want to say, obviously, their title race is probably insane pressure, and they're playing against a team in Brighton that we still have a little bit of pressure to get a Conference League spot. But I do understand that it's probably going to be a lot tougher now with our running. But obviously, City play at 12:30 on Saturday against Palace, away at Palace, where they don't normally get points. But if they do pick up those 3 points, Arsenal are then going to be looking over their shoulders for the 5:30 game. That could play a part. They could have that pressure on them, and then Liverpool play the following day. But I guess for us, it would be nice for Palace to lose, of course, but for City to win and then pile on more pressure on Arsenal, it'll only benefit us in that, especially for in terms of the title race.
My only thing on that, my only sort of rebuttal to that would be, I think they've learnt a lot from last season. I feel like just that draw against Man City for me told me a lot more. I feel like they're not going to be that same Arsenal of last season, annoyingly. I think they will probably come there with a different mindset, that mentality of like, whatever happens around us, we've got to win. So yeah, I do fear that they're going to have a complete different mentality coming to the Amex this season. But yeah, I don't want to be defeatist.
I think I agree. Like, I think when I alluded to earlier that I haven't been as impressed by Arsenal this season, but in a way I have been impressed that they have changed their mindset, like you said, Mads, where they sort of, the Man City game where they just sat back, they didn't look for the win, they didn't give away the easy opportunity. So I do think we will see a different Arsenal who are a lot more streetwise and a lot more smart, not to give away the opportunities like they did in the 3-0 defeat where we beat them at the end of last season.
Were you not just more impressed with them last season because you didn't expect them to be that good?
To an extent, but I also think they just had. Yeah, I think you're probably not 100% wrong on that. I do think they had some of their players looked a lot more on form, whereas this season, Jesus is looking a bit iffy. Martinelli's been in and out. They've had to bring people in. I think there's part of that, but part of it, I just think they're a lot more effective at winning games this season. Right. Even though they've had bigger wins in a couple of games, like West Ham and Sheffield United, they seem to have stepped up to a different gear recently. To be fair, I will give them that.
Yeah. All right, let's before we do score predictions and whatnot. Let's do title race predictions. Who's going to win the title, Jack? Arsenal, City, or Liverpool?
Interesting. I'm going to go with Liverpool.
Yeah, I've said Liverpool recently as well, and I'm going to stick to my guns. But then Man City, for me it's between Liverpool and Man City, but I'm going to go Liverpool.
Well, Arsenal completely disregarded. I just feel like City probably where they are, they need to win every single game to win the league, and
that is
for them to do that. We know they can do it, but will they do it? Will they do it? I still really don't know. For some reason, I feel Arsenal could do it. I feel like Liverpool might be the more likely team to slip up somewhere. Just for some reason, I feel that.
I think it'll be between Arsenal and Liverpool. To be fair, it wouldn't surprise me. I think I weirdly don't think City don't look like the same team as last season. I can see them weirdly winning the Champions League, but not the Premier League.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But then,
okay, I would want Liverpool to win it simply because of Alexis McAllister. That would be incredible for him to win the Premier League after leaving us. That would be That'd be nice. All right, then on to the actual game. Then now I'm thinking of Saka. So whoever plays left back is going to have a job to do because Saka's obviously one of their better players. Odegaard's one to keep an eye on. Probably the two best players, and that battle in midfield with Declan Rice is going to be pretty tough as well. So taking all of that into consideration, I do think we will lose. I think we will score because we are due a goal, surely. So maybe I said 2 or 3-1 against Liverpool, and it was 2-1. So I'm going to go 2-1 again. So 2-1 to Arsenal. Jack, what about you?
Do you want me to give a positive and a negative one? A positive one.
Talk with your brain. Just give whatever you think.
Yeah. So part of me also just thinks I think we could get a point here. I think they could go maybe 2-2 or something. They go 2-1 up quite late on. We pile on the pressure, maybe with Pedro back, get a penalty or something like that. I can see that sort of result coming in, maybe a 1-1, 2-2. So that's my positive prediction. But in reality, I can see maybe us equalising. Then they go 2-1 up and then they get really late third. So I think 3-1 to Arsenal is probably my realistic prediction. But I'm going to give a positive one, a 2-2. 2-2 if you want to feel positive.
Yeah, I'm going 1-1. I don't know. I've got a weird feeling we can snatch a draw.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm going to go 1-1.
Oh, I hope you're right, Maz. I hope you're right. Well, Jack, do you want to do the outro?
I can't remember what you all say in the outro. It's like
go on, just wing it. See what happens.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening, and I hope if any Arsenal fans are listening, you don't mind me offending you by saying I didn't think you were that good or bottlers. Don't mean it. Don't send me hate.
Too late. It's already done.
Yeah,
mate.
it's probably already got done.
We're kicking it up.
Yeah.
I'm a recovering injury victim. Don't send me hate. So thanks everyone for listening. Give us a like, subscribe, listen to us on Spotify if you want as well. That's good. Good little thing, Spotify podcast, actually. And you know what? Enjoy the game tomorrow. And goodbye.
Love that.
Oh,
great outro.
wait. Could I quickly play Ryan's voice note?
Yes, boys. Shame I can't be there. I'm currently sat outside Lancing training ground. Ben was asking me to send this sooner, but unfortunately you can't send voice notes while you're driving, ladies and gentlemen. But I am looking forward to the game. I've just done AFTV with Turkish. Shout out them guys. They think they're going to win. I don't blame them. But I went on there saying we're going to win. I've got to back the boys always. It's going to be a very difficult game. I think as long as we're half at our best, we have a chance. Their midfield is very good, though, I'm not going to lie. But I'm still being positive. I've got a weird part of me saying that something magic's going to happen, a bit like how we've had our European nights. We've been a little bit iffy here and there. So I said a 2-1 win. Realistically, I'm thinking we're going to lose 2 or 3-0. But I'm thinking with my heart, and I'm going to stick with my heart. It's a Saturday evening kickoff. We've seen Joao Pedro under the lights at the Amex before so many times this season. So I'll let you know what Mr. De Zerbi says after this press conference to see if it changes my mind. But so far, I'm in good spirits. It's a sunny Friday evening, afternoon, should I say. And yeah, up the Albion, 2-1 win. And why not? Let's upset the Arsenal record again, as we have done 3 times now. 2-time Champions League and the title last season. We're going to do it again. We're going to stop them getting the title for Alexis McAllister. Up the Albion.